What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Quantum, and today we're going to be talking about the Black Friday deals that you guys are probably going to be running into. Now, we're going to be ranking these televisions to make sure that when Black Friday rolls around, you're good to go. You're not going to be wondering what the best TV is or how you're going to find the best TV. You're going to be like, I got this. So let's just dive right in. Right now, the best TV you can buy without wasting any of your time, the LG OLED C1. That is going to be the strongest OLED period, regardless of what anybody may have opinions on. It's just pound for pound, feature rich. It's going to give you the best picture as far as motion clarity and just processing options. It's the bee's knees, right? Then we've got for the LED bracket, the Hisense U8G. You're not finding a TV better than the Hisense U8G for an LED. I've tested things like the Samsung QN90A, the Sony X90J. Those two TVs from Samsung and Sony are going to be very popular, and a lot of people are going to think, maybe I'll just buy those. If you do that, you're making a mistake. Those are not the best that these companies have offered, and these are kind of the watered down versions of technology they came out with. I won't bore you with the history lesson, but simply put, back in 2018 and in 2017, both Samsung and Sony were way better than they are in 2021. So I would highly suggest waiting until they get back up to that caliber before spending money with them again, because they're not taking it seriously. Now, if you just wanted a hot buy TV, you can buy any hot buy TV anywhere. I mean, you really don't have to waste your money on Samsung for that. Now, that being said, the third ranked TV outside of the Hisense U8G and the LG C1, which holds the number one spot, it's going to be the TCL R646. I was really impressed with that TV. Even though it had some black crush, it's still very close to OLED. And I think if you want something that's pretty close to OLED, you're going to be going with that TCL because it gets the job done, it's affordable, and honestly, the contrast and clarity were really exceptional. Motion was also really good, so I think honestly that's a no-brainer, especially over TVs like the Samsung QN90A, which honestly speaking, I truly feel like I think they're overpricing it, but I feel like there's a little bit more going on there. I feel like this is almost like a GoFundMe for Samsung for their OLED project that they are no doubt going to be working on in the next coming years. Because at the end of the day, this is not their best and their brightest, as I've said, but what TCL is doing is just so much better that I think when you look at it as like a total package and a rounded picture, it's really going to hit you. And then you're going to be like, wow, yeah, no, there is absolutely no reason why Samsung should be charging as much as they are when TCL exists and they're offering equivalent, if not better, image quality. So then now after these three ranks, it gets kind of hard because 2021 isn't that great of a year. Unfortunately, with consumer electronics, we see a trend. Every year it's about cutting costs, not about bettering what we had last year. It's about what can I take away without the consumer noticing, and how can I pay influencers to cover it up. That's the market we have right now. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to tell you some shit's garbage. And I get a lot of hatred for it, and a lot of people look at me and, have their opinions. We're not here to talk about that. They can feel how they feel. But there's no denying the fact that these products are getting worse each year. Things are getting cheaper each year. So honestly speaking, outside of those three, I think you're going to have a hard time. I think maybe just buy last year's TVs on sale, like the C10. If you really want an OLED and you don't want to pay the top prices, I guess buy the C10. I don't recommend that TV, to be very clear, but if you're talking about just for the sole purpose of saving money and you just want an LG OLED, then maybe just do that. But I don't really recommend doing that because it's not really my top pick for a television. But again, you're talking about sale prices, Black Friday, and you just want the best deal with acceptable picture quality, you can find old TVs that are on sale. I highly recommend, if you are one of those people that take offense anytime I say Samsung needs to improve, they're not where they are last year, they're not where they were the year before, and every year I've been saying that, okay, buy the Samsung the Q90T, okay, because the QN90A is basically that with like a very minuscule, very hairline, very tiny improvement. There's not much there, okay? And I think that for everybody that has been talking about these TVs, they're just doing it for clout on YouTube, and you're really gonna see it if you ever have the chance to compare these TVs and see what I'm talking about. Now, another thing that you can probably buy on Black Friday's market would probably be looking even further back to some of the older Hisense TVs. The H9G is still an excellent pick if you can still find that. TVs like the TCL R635, if you wanted to get a bigger size television, like a 75 or whatever the case may be, and you didn't necessarily want to break the bank, those are good options. They do make the newer model in a 75, but that's going to be more money. So, those are things you have to kind of weigh up. I think as far as LG, you can write all of their LEDs off. I know a lot of people think like NanoCell or like the QNEDs might have a chance, but they don't. Horrible black levels and absolutely no reason to buy for that money. I mean, like, their purpose on the market is to make LG OLED look so much better by comparison. And when I say better, I mean like so fundamentally better that when you look at an LG OLED, you say it's better than LED technology. That's the only reason those LEDs exist, because year after year, LG goes and they make these ugly IPS panels and they really nerf the contrast to a point where it's disgusting. Colors are nice, motion is nice, but that's all they really bring to the table outside of like maybe some picture processing elements. But your black levels are so bad, like it literally just looks like a broken TV. So honestly speaking, I wouldn't waste my money on it. Now, again, everybody's gonna do what they want to do for Black Friday. I'm sure there's a massive demographic of person that hears a television is $1,200, $1,500 and goes, absolutely not, Haas. We're not paying that at my house. You have an awesome TV called the Hisense U6G. I highly recommend you check that out if you're on a budget. I'm telling you right now, it is the best budget TV you will ever find. Black levels are mind-blowing. I did not expect that. I mean, just the colors, clarity, all of it. It was a really excellent TV. Only downside, you don't have motion presets. So that's going to be something that you have to figure out if you like soap opera effect like I do. But otherwise, maybe you get the Hisense U7G, which is an awesome gaming TV. I mean, you have options is the point. And Black Friday being around the corner, you're going to have to start looking at these options a lot more seriously. Now, I know some of you might wonder, what about the Sony X? Let's just say the X95J, the X90J, the X80J, X85J, all that, right? I don't recommend a single one of those TVs, and here's why. The XR chip is not better than the X1 Ultimate chip. Just buy last year's versions of those TVs. So the X950H, the X900H. Buy those TVs. Do not waste your money buying these half-assed efforts from Sony, because that's all it is. And you're talking to a guy right now that is recording this video that you're watching on a G Master lens from Sony, on an A7R series camera from Sony, okay? There's no hate here for Sony. There's just a reality that there's something really wrong with Sony and the way that they've been going about making TVs each year, getting worse, cutting corners, and that kind of thing. So, I guess this rounds out what you should do and kind of the game plan for Black Friday. I think you should attack with the budget brands. If you've got a bias and you don't like the so-called Chinese brands, ditch your bias. I'm telling you right now, you have no reason to trust a Japanese brand over a Chinese brand, or a South Korean brand over a Chinese brand. There is no reason. They all have their scandals, look it up. They all have quality control issues, look it up. And they all have premature failures, look into it. I have a video on this channel where my Sony, what was it, the X900H or whatever it was, just died, like within no time at all. The LG A1 literally just died, like within, what was it, like 24 hours, 48 hours? It was ridiculous, right? So I think, again, with all of these so-called brand biases, you might want to reinvest into a more, I guess, open-minded way of thinking for your sake, especially, again, Black Friday. We're talking about a lot of money that these companies are looking to make, and these TVs aren't really going to see that much of a price reduction. For everybody wondering about the price aspect of it, you can expect things like maybe a $100 price reduction, $200 at the most. So, you know, you're going to see things like the LG C1, for example. The price right now is $14.99. Don't expect it to go a penny less than $13.49. That is its Black Friday price, right? And then you can kind of do that across the board. I mean, I expect the X90J to be anywhere from $8.99 to $9.99. You've got Hisense. They'll probably reach similar price points, right? So I think, you know, you might want to kind of think about these things ahead of time. I know you're going to be watching a lot of the other YouTubers. There's no point in me trying to tell you that, you know, a lot of these people don't actually know what they're talking about when they say one TV's better, one TV's worse. They're just literally as experienced as you are looking for the information. I mean, literally, I could go into this all day. I mean, one of those guys said, I'm right today, wrong tomorrow. I'm sure we all know who that was. And my point with all this is, you're always going to have options in Black Friday, and there's always going to be somebody trying to tell you that something's good and something's better and something's all that nonsense. But ultimately speaking, I think if you're serious about image quality, take it from the pro over here, okay? You're better off buying the C1 for OLED, and you're better off going down the list of TVs I mentioned in this video. Now, if you've got specific questions or there's a model that I didn't tackle in this video, ask down below and I'll help you out. But essentially, when you start dealing with those non-quantum dot TVs, I don't care what brand it is, I usually nix those because they're usually not going to be worth your money. We're in the age of quantum dot technology. You might want to have quantum dot TV because it's super affordable. They're going for, $400 at this point. There's no excuse, right? It's not about money at this point. It's about just companies being lazy, in my opinion. And I think, again, anything not quantum dot, take it off your list. When you're talking about, next gen gaming stuff, anything not HDMI 2.1, if you are looking for the 120 hertz VRR experience, then again, take that off your list. So again, ask me your questions down below if you've got them. I'm going to be live tonight from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys have additional questions, you guys can come out and ask them, and I'll do what I can, and we'll just hang out and have a good time. But that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 Brand in Honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.